Hi everyone, welcome back to my chess lesson. Last week we covered board setup, how all the pieces move, check, checkmate, and piece values. And today we'll be covering stalemate, en passant, and castling. First, we are going to look at stalemate. Stalemate is when opponent king or any other piece has no legal move and the king is not in a check. The game is a draw. As you can see on the board, the black king is not in a check, the black pawn cannot move, and it is black king to move, and he has no legal move because the white queen is covering g7, g8 and h7. So now we will be covering en passant. En passant is a special move where you have the black pawn move for the first time 2 squares forward and lands next to the white pawn. Now the white pawn on its very next move can capture the black pawn as if the black pawn has moved only 1 square up. En passant is a French word and that means in passing. Now we are going to look at a very special and very important move in chess, that is castling. And castling is to protect your king. It's always good to protect your king early in the game. So castling should be done as soon as you start the game. And in castling, rook and king makes this on the same turn. They move on the same turn. So there are two types of castling. One is a king side castling where the king moves towards h1 square, and the king side castling is where the king moves to a1 square. That is called queenside castling. And this is the only time king is allowed to move 2 space and rook is allowed to move, jump over the king next to the king. For example, the king wants to do king side castling. So king should move to g1, 2 squares to the right, and rook can jump over the king and lands on f1 next to the king. And same as the queen side castling. King can move 2 squares to the left on c1, and rook is allowed to jump and lands on d1. There are few conditions which must be met in able to do castling. The king must move for the first time and the rook also should be moving for the first time. Once the king moves away from the original square, you cannot do castling. Secondly, there should be no piece in between the king and the rook on both sides of the king. So no pieces in between. And third, you cannot do castling if you are in check. As you can see, the rook is giving a check, attacking the king. So you cannot do castling if you are in check. You also cannot do castling if you are going through the check. So if the king wants to do queenside castling, you cannot do queenside castling because you would be going through the check, because the rook is controlling the d file. I hope you enjoyed my video today, and hope I'll see you next week. And if you like my video, please subscribe, and I will see you next week with a few wonderful chess tactics. Thank you so much. Bye.